if you average out the View hosts, among the dumbest people on television.
I think Sonny's dumb. Is certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It's not a well thought out.
A major development is making headlines in the media world. Former First Lady Melania Trump has filed a high-profile $100 million lawsuit against the hosts of The View, a legal move that has quickly captured national attention.
As you may heard, I filed a few lawsuits, and I'm in the court now because they accuse me of doing stuff that I never did in my life, and they wrote lies, and I will not allow that. I will fight till the end because I don't want that they damage my reputation and my name.
I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all agree on that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out. She does not want to be the First Lady anymore.
This legal battle has already sent shockwaves across television networks, courtrooms, and social media. The key question now is, what sparked this high-stakes confrontation? The lawsuit stems from a recent episode of The View, during which the hosts made a series of remarks about Melania Trump that quickly stirred controversy. Broadcast live to millions, the comments were sharp, personal, and, according to many observers, provocative enough to prompt the significant legal action. During the discussion, the conversation turned to Melania's tenure as First Lady, with one host bluntly questioning whether she ever fully embraced her role and suggesting she appeared disengaged and reluctant during her time in the White House.
Doesn't want to be the First Lady. She destroyed the Rose Garden. Who hates Christmas? Melania Trump hates Christmas. She doesn't want to decorate for Christmas. She doesn't want anything to do with him. She doesn't want to sleep in the same room with him. She can't tolerate him.
Allegedly.
And she does.
Yeah, how do you know all this?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know all this.
Allegedly. That's why I say allegedly.
The conversation on The View veered sharply into bold speculation about Melania Trump's personal life, zeroing in on her marriage to former President Donald Trump. The host suggested, not so subtly, that she might not even like her husband, tossing out provocative theories about their relationship. Then, as if determined to stir further controversy, they pivoted to her White House years, critiquing her redecoration projects, questioning her taste, and even disparaging her handling of cherished traditions like Christmas. The cumulative result was a scathing portrait of a First Lady they cast as distant, discontented, and disconnected from her role. Melania Trump was not about to let that portrayal stand. Known for fiercely guarding her privacy and image, she is now striking back. In a high-stakes, $100 million defamation lawsuit, she accuses The View of crossing the line from protected opinion into actionable falsehood, asserting that the segment tarnished her reputation and exceeded the bounds of fair commentary. With that figure on the table, this is no petty feud, it is fast becoming a headline-grabbing confrontation that could test and possibly redefine the limits of free speech on daytime television while forcing a national conversation about how far is too far when critiquing public figures. She is not sitting this one out, she is coming out swinging. The suit charges that the hosts were not simply wrong in tone, but that their words caused concrete reputational harm. For Melania, this is not about momentary offense, it is about defending her name, her dignity, and responding to what she views as a deeply personal attack. She has drawn a line in the sand and taken the fight to court. Then the spotlight intensified further. Enter Joe Rogan, unfiltered, unapologetic, and rarely one to dodge a controversy. On his podcast, he unloaded on The View, labeling the episode outrageous hypocrisy. He reminded listeners of a not-so-distant past when the Trumps appeared on that same set to applause, hugs, and broad smiles. Now, he argued, the very stage has become a platform for relentless takedowns. Rogan blasted the situation as a deliberate narrative flip driven more by politics than principle, accusing the program of chasing ratings through shock value rather than fostering meaningful dialogue. In his trademark bluntness, he cracked, if you average out the IQ of the hosts on The View, you might still struggle to hit triple digits. Brutal. His audience reacted instantly, social media lit up, supporters echoed his sentiments, and critics jumped into the fray, adding more fuel to an already volatile fire. Why does any of this matter? Strip away the celebrity drama and what remains is a pivotal legal battle with potentially far-reaching consequences for American public discourse. The core issue is free speech. How far can talk shows go when dissecting the personal lives and perceived motives of public figures? If Melania prevails, a new boundary could emerge, one compelling programs like The View to recalibrate their approach to hot-button commentary and personal critique. This is not merely a lawsuit, it is about precedent, power dynamics, and the future contours of televised opinion. The View is no stranger to controversy, its format thrives on fiery exchanges and divisive takes, but this time the stakes are elevated. This is not just an awkward segment or PR hiccup. It is a $100 million defamation action brought by a former First Lady. That alone transforms a routine media dust-up into courtroom drama with national attention. Timing compounds the impact, as Donald Trump continues generating headlines through political maneuvers and ongoing controversies. The Trump family remains firmly in the cultural and political spotlight. Melania's lawsuit does not merely join the noise, it cuts through it with a targeted, personal strike that commands focus. Inevitably, questions swirl about motive. Is Melania seizing a moment to reclaim a narrative otherwise centered on her husband? Is this strategic recalibration, or a cumulative reaction to years of scrutiny and ridicule? Whatever the underlying calculus, one thing is clear: this story is only beginning. The flashpoint was a remark during the segment in which a host did not simply imply marital tension. She flatly claimed that Melania hates Donald Trump and does not even want to live in the same house. That assertion was not just bold, it was jaw-dropping. Viewers replayed the clip to confirm what they heard. Critics expressed outrage. The internet erupted. Its shock value is precisely what makes it central to the unfolding legal narrative. What stands out further is Melania's speed and decisiveness. Many public figures deflect such jabs, issue a carefully worded statement, wait out the news cycle, and move on. Melania, instead, is all in, no half measures, no silence, but a full-throttle legal strike that telegraphs this crossed a line. By filing, she is not merely pursuing an apology or a retraction, she is demanding consequences. This is about more than image management, it is about attempting to shift rules. She is signaling to the media ecosystem that if commentary strays too far, accountability will be sought. She contends the harm is not theoretical. It is, in her view, cumulative and tangible, long-term reputational damage affecting how she is perceived globally. She frames the action not as performance but as a calculated, determined, and deeply personal effort to defend boundaries. That framing raises hard public questions. Where is the dividing line between robust free speech and character assassination? When does edgy commentary tip into reckless defamation? Those are no longer abstract media ethics hypotheticals. This case could become the one that draws the line, and redraws the map of what is fair game. In a landscape where every statement can be clipped, memed, and circulated within seconds, the implications extend beyond Melania or The View. The ripple effects could reach networks, hosts, journalists, podcasters, and influencers alike. A victorious claim, or even a high-profile settlement, might encourage stricter internal vetting of personal assertions about public figures' private relationships, tastes, and domestic dynamics. Even before any ruling, the filing itself has ignited debate about media responsibility, ethical boundaries, and the enduring consequences of casual on-air speculation. Possible outcomes now loom: a substantial settlement, a public apology, a negotiated retraction, or a protracted legal slog stretching months, or longer, with no immediate resolution. Regardless, this is not a disposable news cycle blip. It could mark an inflection point, a reckoning in how daytime and opinion formats calibrate risk. At its heart, Melania frames this not as bruised ego but as resistance to what she perceives as a smear. She argues that even highly public figures deserve a baseline of factual integrity and respect. The suit, in her narrative, is about defending both past legacy and future autonomy. For The View, the moment doubles as a test, a show built on hot takes and viral just as confronted with the legal weight of its words. The industry, too, receives a warning shot. The era of saying whatever without anticipating litigation may be narrowing. The $100 million figure itself amplifies gravity, drawing attention, signaling seriousness, and potentially chilling similar rhetoric elsewhere. A win for her side could send shockwaves across talk shows, newsrooms, podcasts, and creator platforms, prompting recalibration of how marital dynamics, personal tastes, and behind-the-scenes narratives are addressed. Already, the mere existence of the complaint is influencing discussions about gatekeeping, editorial standards, and on-air fact vetting. So what comes next? A swift settlement? A conspicuous on-air clarification? Or a drawn-out evidentiary battle over transcript nuances, intent, and damages? The answers are still forthcoming, but the trajectory suggests a broader industry audit of tone and tactics. This is more than episodic television drama. It is a potential landmark test of commentary boundaries in a fragmented, hyper-amplified media ecosystem. Now, the broader civic questions surface for audiences and commentators alike. What is truly fair game when discussing public figures? Where does sharp analysis end and defamation begin? And how do we reconcile rapid-fire, personality-driven formats with accountability for statements that persist indefinitely online? With this lawsuit, Melania Trump is staking out her position. The media world is watching to see whether the courts, or negotiated compromise, will redraw the line.